Hey, this is Jen Johans at filmintuition.com and Film Intuition on social media and Letterboxd. And this is Watch with Jen. I am thrilled to have my friend Candice Frederick. I have known Candice since 2009, 2010, early days of film Twitter. She is a wonderful writer. I highly encourage you to look up her bylines and to hire this amazing girl. So, Candice, how are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. How are you, Jen? How's everything?
I am hanging in too. We were talking off air about it being over 100 degrees in Phoenix and it's like 40 where you are. So we need to find a cool place to hang out on a writer's retreat or something.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
It's
like
40 degrees and exactly. It's like 40 degrees and raining here. So it's dark and gloomy.
Somewhere in the middle of the country, maybe where Juno lives. Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. I know. Well, we have a lot of things in common. We kind of have similar taste in movies and we're similar ages, which is really great because our sensibilities are pretty similar as well. And so we could have gone in a million different directions with this, but we went with coming of age movies or ones that really don't get discussed as much. And I thought that was a really cool topic. Last spring, I talked to Jessica Ellis about female sexuality. And so she had me watch My Old Ass, which is the weirdest title. It doesn't really apply, but I loved that. And it made me think this is a really good topic, coming of age, unexpected in these indie movies and others. So yeah. How about you? Have you always liked this genre?
I guess so. I mean, yes, but I think growing up, I never really considered it coming of age. It was just movies that I connected with on some level.
Yeah.
But there are movies that I have revisited or I've watched for the first time as an adult that were considered classics and have been my entire life. But I'm watching them and I still you can always tell when a movie is great if it's just stands the test of time. It's still just as great as it was when it came out, I imagine. And so I for instance, I recently watched for the first time Stand By Me and I was like, oh my gosh, I get it.
I love that movie. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. I get it now. I'm in the conversation now.
I know. And I think everyone forgets that was, Stephen King, The Body, the story. I work in a bookstore. And so occasionally people will come up and say, what was your first Stephen King? And I'm like, movie? I think it was Stand By Me. And they're like, wait, what? Yeah. They don't really put that together. But it's such a good movie. Did you watch it after Rob Reiner? Is that what made you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I had watched This Is Spinal Tap and watched Stand By Me. I recently just watched Rumor Has It. So I've been kind of down a Rob Reiner rabbit hole.
Yeah. I know. I was kind of thinking, especially that period of American President and the ones I don't watch that often, but it's been a while. Yeah. I love Stand By Me. And of course, River Phoenix. This was the same era that he was in Running on Empty, which is a movie I kind of discovered a few years ago. I want to say the late 17, 18, around there. And just completely fell in love with it. It's one of my friend's girlfriend's favorite films of all time. It's her favorite. He has one DVD and it's this. And I just love that because when you're watching it, you're like, this could be the best movie. It's just that good. I know Roger Ebert gave it 4 out of 4 when it was originally made. I talked to Griffin Dunn and Amy Robinson on the pod a couple of years ago. And so they produced it. And so it was fun to gush about how much even the music in the opening, the opening credits makes me cry. So,
the part of that movie that really stands out to me in my very distant memory, I haven't seen it in a number of years, but the part that gets me is the end, where it's just he's almost like severed from this
I
family, or severing
know.
to free himself from this cocoon that the family has been in. Yeah.
Yeah, the bike being put outside the truck. It kind of reminded you of the beginning with like relieving the dog. Somebody will take the dog or whatever. And it's just it's so hard. Yeah.
Mhm.
Growing up in Minnesota, there was a woman, and I'm blanking on the name of the group, but it was kind of like the Weather Other Underground, and they found out like a Little League mom a couple towns over was somebody who had been involved in a bombing, and it was just
Oh my
like
God.
that was in the 90s, and it's all we talked about. But so when I finally saw this, I'm like, oh, it's like that mom. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like the performances across the board are so good, and so it's so human, it's so endearing, it's so complicated as
Yeah.
well. For a type of family that one we didn't really see portrayed very often,
Hmm.
and one that is a bit unusual, or at least unusual to be discussed.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on River Phoenix in this era? Were you a fan as a kid, or did you kind of get into his stuff later?
Um, I don't feel like I watched. I'm gonna do a little Google right
Oh,
now
you're
because
fine.
I
Yeah.
remember. I feel like I did not watch these movies in real time. Okay,
Yeah. I
well,
saw
except
Stand By
Sneakers.
Me. That was it. Oh, Sneakers. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like looking it up now. I was like, oh yeah, Sneakers. Sneakers. I
Yeah.
watched. I'm pretty sure I actually even went to the theater to watch that. I love that movie.
Yeah, I did too. I remember that. I had just gotten contacts. It was a big deal.
I love that movie. I think of like I was saying, Stand By Me, but I largely, because I think most recently was Stand By Me, but like a
Yeah.
few years ago, I had watched Running on Empty for the first time. Not Running on
Yeah.
Empty, it was,
Or
My Private Idaho for the
oh my
first time.
gosh, Gus Van Sant. Yes.
Yes. And so I think that one is so acute in my memory
Yeah.
because there's so much happening in that movie. And that's also a really good, like, coming of age
It
in a
is.
very unusual way, and a very, conflicted way. I mean, like, we have both River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves, and they're both just like struggling for
I
a variety.
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that is an incredible performance from both of them.
It is. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love Gus Van Sant in this era, though it was funny,
Mhm.
in the episode as we're recording this that I just released, I was editing it and I forgot my friend, it was Sean Burns and S.A. Cosby, and we were doing an episode on Delroy Lindo, but
Yeah.
he was all of a sudden, we got on an aside about like even cowgirls get the blues. And he's like, what happened? He made the best movies like Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Item, and then
Hmm.
boom. Yeah, so that was like the one that doesn't fit. But Gus Van Sant, I mean, Goodwill Hunting, Elephant, all these really
Yeah.
great coming of age movies.
I
Yeah.
need to still see Elephant. I keep on saying
Oh,
for
it's a
many
hard
years.
watch, Candice. Yes.
That's why I haven't seen it. I'm just like, I have, like,
Yes.
especially these last few years, I feel like it's
Yeah.
been kind
It
of a
might be
struggle.
more, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sometimes I kind of force myself to watch it. I don't ever feel any regret afterwards, but like I
Yeah.
do have to kind of put myself in this mood. And Elephant, I have not been in that mood yet.
Yeah.
I remember, and this is like kind of around the Columbine.
It was. Yeah. Hmm.
Columbine was extremely, I mean, I didn't grow up around where the Columbine shooting occurred, but
No.
I was
But
in high school at the time. And I was just
yeah.
like, I remember that moment so
Yeah.
well in my memory. And that just
We
is
were
really,
even the rebels, which is what they were. And so technically, I was going to college at the time, but I would have been part of that class of 99. And I was like, had we actually had talked about moving to Colorado when I was a kid, and I'm like, that could have easily been me, my
mm,
cousins, anybody. Yeah.
yeah,
It was so horrible. Yeah. And
horrifying.
so after that happened, and then we had, yeah, Elephant, and then and it seemed like an outlier still, and now it's become so normalized, unfortunately, although it's not normal, but yes.
Not normal, but super normal.
Yeah, exactly. Just the most
Yeah.
messed up stuff we're like getting acclimated to.
Yes, this is just totally cool and normal.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
We're
Yeah.
doing great.
Just ask us. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
And
think it's
yeah.
interesting when we talk about River Phoenix is that he had he was so earnest.
Yes.
And I don't know how much of his own life and the way he grew up,
I
the way he
know.
grew up, that he channeled in these characters like a Stand By Me or the character whose name I'm blinking on in My Private Idaho or in Running on Empty,
Yeah.
just really, I don't want to say troubled, but just like really conflicted and really like trying to kind of stuck in two worlds and trying to manage two identities of like
Oh,
this.
that's a great observation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sensitive, soulful, but like
Mhm.
playing a different role depending on
Mhm.
like if he's around his friends or his family or
Yes.
whoever. Yeah.
And I think that's so integral to growing up where you're like,
Yes.
you are very different with your friends than you are with your parents and you are with your teachers. And so it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm cool in some like spaces that I occupy. And then other
Yeah.
times I'm literally just a shepherd and other times I'm really deeply insecure. And I think that is so young adulthood,
It
the sort of
is.
youth and
Yeah.
especially, the complexities around like boyhood as well, where
Yeah.
you're
I
kind of
know.
assigned this certain type of identity you either wiggle out of it or you don't, or you fight it.
Yeah, kind of in the same period we had Smooth Talk. Have you
Yeah.
seen that one? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Laura Dern, right?
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, there's Handyman by James Taylor, and then in this one it's Fire and Rain. James
Mm.
Taylor in teen movies. Now that wouldn't be a thing, but in the 80s it was. Yeah.
I never put that together. I don't think I know a whole lot
I
of James Taylor
it just
music, but now
pops in
that
my
you said
head.
it, it's like, oh, yeah, totally. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. It's a different time period, basically. Kind of like Bruce Springsteen used to be like the soundtrack of youth, and now
Yeah.
it's a little different. Yes.
Right. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah. I know you and I both love like all of the movies from that whole period. Everyone always thinks of, The Breakfast Club and the John Hughes era and those teen movies, but
Those are
it's
great too.
cool
I
to
love that.
know. Yeah, those are great too, but it's good to know that there were some other stories being told, kind of either independent or independent feeling
Mm,
films for like the rest of us. Yeah, who weren't Molly Ringwald. Yeah. Although what I
right.
loved about Molly Ringwald is she was the cool girl in one movie, but in the other movie she was awkward. So I did enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, again, with that dual and sometimes triple identity that kids just have to naturally navigate. I mean, she could have been actually quite awkward in Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
to in other spaces, but like
Yes.
at school, you have to kind of pick one personality. You can't like you can't like be
No.
the jock who's also like kind of a nerd. You're either a jock or a nerd. There's no like nuance, and
Yeah.
that stifles children.
It was one thing I hadn't watched Juno in like 20 years. And then last night I rewatched it and I had totally forgotten, like the jock said something and she tells her friend who's the cheerleader, like he wants me. They love all the freaky girls. And there's this whole line of dialogue where,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like we have Hot Topic or, like they just love those girls. And I just thought that was
Yeah.
so funny and so true. And very John Hughes. Yeah.
Very Johnny Hughes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good at he really was really fascinated, it seemed to me, about like of class and the awkward
Yes.
kids,
Hmm.
the loners, and really just trying to study the various archetypes of kids growing up at that time.
Yeah.
Particularly, obviously, this is very white and very like
Oh
male
yeah. Yeah.
almost, but with the exception of like something like a Home Alone. Wait, did he do Home Alone?
Chris
Why do I always?
Columbus, but he wrote it. Yeah.
Oh, he wrote it. That's right. So like that was a big city, but it was on the outskirts of Chicago, I think. That
Yeah. The one
yes.
I loved, I think that feels the most like you could put it in a film fest with Running on Empty is Some Kind of Wonderful. Yeah.
Ooh, is this Eric Stoltz?
Yeah, Eric Stoltz, he wrote that. That was Howard Deutsch directed, but it's a John Hughes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, another John.
Yeah, with Mary Stuart Masterson and Leah Thompson. Yeah.
Leah Thompson, the awkward girl, right? Or no,
Yeah. No, she was the pretty
she
girl,
was
but
a
she
pretty
grew up
girl.
on the wrong side of the tracks and was
Yeah,
accepted and yeah.
and
So it was a
Mary
little
Stuart.
conflicted.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched that in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that movie.
that's a good
Yeah. Elias Koteas is so amazing in it. Yeah.
one. Hmm.
As the rebel. Yeah. He had a
Yeah,
little more depth. Yeah.
yeah.
Surprisingly. But that's one thing we loved about Hughes is, like he would give the weirdo a speech and or even just like one key line of dialogue, like Ali Sheedy saying, "They ignore me." And
Yes.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
thought, wow, that's the key to her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I even think about this is not John Hughes, but I think about Say Anything.
Oh,
You're kind
I
of
love that movie. Yeah.
I love that movie. I mean, you kind of
Yes.
you're centering the awkward, perpetually single but very romantic
Yeah.
male figure. And I mean, because there's always been this lingering conversation about coming of age movies for adults or like adults
Yes.
who are kind of coming of age. And I think about this is kind of a leap, but I thought of Say Anything and I instantly thought of Jerry Maguire, who was definitely not.
Yeah, both Cameron Crowe's. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Jerry Maguire is obviously very different from the central character in Say Anything, but still an outlier in this sense of just like not wanting to, like, kind of an independent in that
Yeah.
sense, where he's just kind of straying from what's cool. And I think that's
Yes.
what, a lot of what Jerry Maguire, like the impetus of Jerry Maguire to just desert stability, his job,
Yeah, he writes the
like
mission
capitalism.
statements. Yes.
Yes,
It's
yes.
kind of like, again, to follow the thread of Cameron, right to Almost Famous, with the kid who's a little too quick, a little younger in high school,
Hmm.
and starts writing, finds himself that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And this era too, we were talking off air and it's such a good movie. Just Another Girl on the IRT. That was newer for me. I think it was Criterion because it was a harder movie to find. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was, I remember seeing it on video, but I was a
Yeah.
little young for it. But
Yeah.
after that, I didn't find it anywhere. So how long had you been a fan of that one and what are your thoughts?
It's obviously not a new movie, but I had heard about it for decades.
Yes.
I, I just, I couldn't, I think I had your experience. I couldn't find it for a while and
Yeah.
I found it maybe about 10 years ago on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
That's where I watched it. My partner recently watched it for the first time on Criterion because it just got the Criterion release. But yeah, I watched it and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I know the director, I can't think of her name right now, but she couldn't get another
I
couldn't get another film forever.
That's
And
so bad
so
when that happens. Yes. Oh my gosh.
yes. Leslie Harris, the writer and director of the movie, brings
Yeah.
like it so brilliantly captures in like that time period as well as that that setting, this type of like teenager in like this inner city, specifically in New York City, Black young girl and who has really the world at her feet in a sense where she has a goal. She wants to become a doctor. She has
Yeah.
all this in mind and everything kind of goes left on her.
Yes,
Right?
I know. Yeah, out of nowhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You make all the plans and then something happens. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
This kind of typical teen girl in a sense where she thinks she knows everything and she thinks she's,
Yes. We
but
were
she,
never like that, right? No.
yeah, exactly. And she grows up a little too fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly like I'm revisiting Veronica Mars right now and Rob Thomas, who was a high school teacher, and he said that's what he was noticing. And it would have been this era. The kids were growing up way too fast. And he said, so there was like this loss of innocence growing up fast. And he followed that on through. And I think, yeah, we were. It's funny when people watch Stranger Things and stuff now and they're like, did you really just leave your house and nobody knew where you were until like, yeah, that's what you did. We didn't have phones. Like, it was
Well,
like, we'll be outside for 12 hours. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to me because I'm like, my mom always had such a leash on me. Like
Okay.
I could never go to like the upside down for several days and my mom just totally chill with it. Never in life.
Oh no, like there were a few houses. She was kind of like, well, they're probably with these kids, those kids, but
Yes.
yeah.
But like, yeah, we were letting ourselves into our own homes and everything. It wasn't like we were latchkey kids. I think that
Yeah.
there was a certain level of independence.
Yep.
Um, I mean, obviously there were certainly in my case, and I know a lot of other people's cases where like their parents were like always concerned about their whereabouts, but there wasn't like this leash, I think.
Yeah. There was a really good joke about the that PSA, like, do you know where your kids are at? And like
Yeah.
the reason they did that, most parents forgot they had kids at 9 o'clock at night. I just thought that was
Exactly.
great because it's an exaggeration, but I get it.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, but like how like omnipresent was that commercial, that PSA,
yes.
which is like, you know where your kids are, and it's just like, oh wait, I don't actually.
Yeah, they're
Thank you
probably
for
at one of these houses, but I don't know. Yeah.
exactly.
And it is interesting because I was talking to friends who have kids and by now they're like in high school and, man, we're getting older. I don't know. But,
I
yeah. And
know.
so one was like getting ready for high school and she was saying how the kid isn't really excited even to drive. Like, and that was huge for me. Like, I wanted the car, I wanted to drive, I wanted to get a job, I wanted to like go do things. And
Yeah.
no, it's fine at home and it doesn't like calling people, like it's only text. So it's like they're growing up fast, but in different ways. Yes. And they
Yeah.
don't
It's
want the same independence. Like, we just wanted to spring forth from our house. Like,
yeah. They're living at home to 35
yeah.
years old. I'm just like, wow, I could not wait to get out of the house. It's funny. I was reading an article the other day, that they were talking about how Gen Z, like what you just said, they're not interested in getting driver's licenses. And I'm just like,
I
that was a
know.
sign of, I was just like, oh, I'm free. I'm an adult. I'm grown now.
It was the best. Yes. Yeah. I remember like just being so excited and they're like, oh, are you going to go to a party? No, I'm going to go to the movies alone.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Because I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think the first thing I saw was like Picture Perfect with Jennifer. It was the era of Friends.
Yes.
But yeah, it was just like I made the choice and I went. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like I'll just get an Uber or it's different.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Everything is just on their phone. It's just like, no, I don't want to drive. I don't want to drink. I don't want to like go partying. Like it's just such a different, like they're very siloed and
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. I'm just like,
Not
really?
to sound like one of those, hey kids, get off my lawn people, but
But also,
but On the other hand, yeah.
Like get out and experience the world, experience other
Yeah.
people.
But Just Another Girl on the IRT, highly recommend that one. I also loved in this era, we had Allison Anders doing like Gas Food Lodging. That's such a good
Ooh,
movie. Mary Jane's Not a Virgin Anymore was new to me. I saw that a few years ago. It was on like TCM Midnight or something. That was good. But
I
yeah.
oh my gosh. I did recently, maybe a couple years ago, did see Gas Food Lodging. I
Oh,
totally
you
forgot.
love that? Oh,
I did. And I
yeah.
just love Fruza Balk.
Oh my gosh. She was so just magical, beautiful. I think she's the girl you watch and you're like, I want to be her best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
I mean,
cool to see Ione Skye playing like kind of a bitch, which,
yes,
it was,
very much so.
yeah, when she auditioned, because I did an episode with Allison Anders and she was saying like she thought she was the good girl and she had just played the best girl and Say Anything. And so she kind of welcomed that. Yeah.
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 It's funny, like, I think about there's so many coming of age horror movies, but like I think
Yes.
about Craft because we were just talking about Fairuza Balk, and I'm
Oh
just like,
yeah.
totally. I mean, just like a movie that, um, I mean, we were just talking about people who are outliers. That is literally the whole,
The
the
whole
whole,
premise. Yeah.
yes, that they were really, they're like four outliers, four or five, I think,
Hmm.
that just decided to be best friends, but they were also really witchy. And so,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's also part of, I mean, the whole history of witch lore is about just kind of dissenting from what is popular, what is considered correct, considered ladylike, things like that. And a lot of that there you can pull from The Craft, which is like a descendant of older witch movies.
That's true. And they've kind of been playing with those archetypes like, Black Christmas and Scream and some of those. Yeah, like what the good girl is or what, Halloween, various movies. So that's great. One I saw on your recommendation, I'd always wanted to see it. I'd heard it was good, but it had never just sat down and remembered and watched it was Pariah, which was just excellent. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that is, I mean, such a great movie. I watched it, at the time of release, whatever that was.
Yeah. I think like 2011 around there.
2011. Yeah, I mean, I think my brain just exploded. Just like this, I use this word a lot, but just like so richly human and textured and
Yes.
um, just tragic, but also victorious at the end when we think about coming of age to come into your own identity.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of Pariah is really kind of grappling with.
It's kind of like I didn't love Lady Bird like other people did. I didn't but it's sort of like the end of that. It was a different and I was like, nope, I like Pariah. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it just made more sense. But one thing I really liked, you said something brilliant earlier when you were saying like about adult coming of age and kid coming of age. And Pariah I thought was great because the dad is going through something at the same time too.
Mm,
Like, is he happy in his marriage? Is he where he wants to be in life? The mom is to some extent, like she's stuck in her roles and serving the husband and trying to raise girly girls.
mm,
And we have a daughter who's a lesbian and also just hides her identity, like changes clothes at school or on the bus. Yeah. I thought that was a really great opener because you're kind of watching and they're in a girl club and there's like a stripper and you're like, what am I watching? And then she gets on the bus and starts taking off the jewelry and, or no, putting on the jewelry. And it's like, wow, okay, now I get it.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, again, it kind of goes back to this sense of like dual and triple identities that
Yeah.
youth constantly have to like really grapple with, this sense of just like, who am I going to be like, and who am I going to be around my, again, my friends, my parents, my teachers, and who am
Mhm.
I when I'm by myself, and I think
Yeah.
that's what a lot of what, the protagonist in Pariah is really dealing with, that and trying to reconcile these various like perceptions and expectations of her with her own desires.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
had never seen, I guess this was based on a short film. I remember I probably have it in my house because I was a voter back
Mm,
then for like the Independent Spirit Awards and stuff. So I probably
mm,
have it somewhere. But yeah, so I'm
mm.
gonna start digging through old DVDs looking for it. But
Yeah,
this was just, yeah, phenomenal. Dee Reese,
agree.
and as far as too, what was so cool about it is you seldom see this. With the perspective of an African American girl coming of her own in sexuality and
Mhm.
especially being a lesbian. And I just thought, well, that's a point of view that we need, like everybody needs to be represented. But I really thought
Yeah.
that was great.
We see a lot of, even to this day, we see so much of white, largely,
Yes. It's
young
like all of
girls.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that are coming into their sexuality.
Yeah.
But yeah, we rarely ever see that from a young Black girl, or a
No.
teenage Black girl.
Or did you see that movie Saving Face? That was great.
No.
I want to say it was Chinese American, if I'm getting that right.
Oh,
Yeah, a woman
yes.
going through the same thing. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. This is on Criterion, or was on Criterion. I had planned to see it, and I
It'll be
there's so
back.
much I want to see.
I know it's overwhelming, Candice. Like every
Yes.
month they have their list of new editions. And then I
Yes.
always check the what's leaving and
Yes.
it flies right out of my head. But they usually bring them back. They cycle them back in a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's 30 movies I want to
I
see. How am
know.
I going to see them all by the end of the month?
Yes. Yeah. They got to start paying us to watch these movies. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We're film
Exactly.
critics. That's what we do.
I know.
Yeah.
I Saving Face has definitely been on my list for a long while.
Are there any others that you remember in the last, like that were new to you from streaming? I know you said, like Just Another Girl, Running on Empty the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
River's Edge is another
Oh
odd
my
one,
gosh. Yes.
because
Hmm.
we were just talking about Ione Sky, and I was just like, I thought of
Yeah.
River's Edge, and I was just
How
like, this is
twisted was
so
that? Yeah. I,
just
yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Just it's I was gonna say
Weird.
it's a very very 90s movie, but it's 1986.
You know,
But
it
it
is.
screams 90s.
It feels like one of those indie movies we would have seen in the 90s. But
Yeah.
what's weird is it kind of goes with Stand By Me, like want to see a dead body, like a
Mm,
different kind of dead body. Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. I didn't even think of that. Because
Yeah.
it was just, I mean, because that was their whole thing, and it was just like, did he kill her, or
I
what happened to this
know.
woman?
Yes. The other one I saw for the first time was Over the Edge,
Over.
which, if I'm getting the title right, yes, 1979.
Mm.
With Matt Dillon. I guess it was Kurt Cobain's favorite movie. And it was funny. I dated a guy who lied about his age and I figured it out because he said like how old he was when he saw that film. And like, it was like, buddy, you're like, it's okay, but I figured this out. Um, I know how old you were when your albums came out and now I figured that
Right, right. I'm like, I'm
because
doing some quick math, and the math ain't math.
yeah, because the grunge era, they were like obsessed with this, but
Mm,
we would have been a little too young, so we weren't like in that renaissance of discovering this movie from 79. But just
yeah.
like the other one that had Dennis Hopper in it, was it Out of the Blue?
Oh, I haven't seen this, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, that's another one totally dark and from that era that we miss,
Mhm.
1980. That will like stay with you. I'm warning you. That's a tough one.
Oh my gosh, he's
Yeah,
so young looking. Look at
I
him.
know. Yes. And of course, Linda Manz from Days of Heaven. And I guess it's a
Mhm.
favorite of Natasha Lyonne. Like she helps get it restored or something. Yeah,
Oh, really? I
that's what I
love
heard.
that
But
for her.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool because I remember watching like those AFI specials and we seldom saw girls like getting excited talking about movies. So
Yeah.
anytime there's one I remember like which women are into this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like who's our friends? But
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. What's their names so I can like
Yes.
remember names? You know what's a movie
Rosario Dawson. She keeps talking about movies. We could hang. Yeah.
that is true. She actually, I went to a panel that she was talking on. I don't even remember what the panel was about. This was at the Tribeca Film Festival a number of years ago, and I was just like, wow, she watches a lot of movies. I was
Yeah.
like jotting them down, like, oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good too when some of these actresses like Rosario Dawson, like when they started to get a little more power, they became choosier of
Mm,
which roles they would take. And like, you know, Pariah, for example, like Spike Lee helped produce it. Like
yeah.
once you start getting power and then you help tell these stories with other people or Juno, like Jennifer Garner's in it, and she worked for a fraction of her salary and also recommended Jason Bateman because she'd just done The Kingdom with him and, you know,
Oh,
smaller
really?
salary. Yeah. And so it's like
I
good to know who was willing to do it for the story. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I think I think I think that is the best role I've ever seen Jennifer Garner in. That's not Alias. Like I think incredible in Juno. Just so good.
Yes. It really is like when she's observed in the mall playing with that girl and like Elliot Page watches and had no idea like the baby is going to be okay with her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. It's just so much about her performance in that. There's like her relationship with her husband Felipe, as you said, Jason,
Yes.
and who's just like
Ugh.
she says she says something like I'm paraphrasing, but like he's like this wannabe rocker and everything, and you know, like he's like this middle aged rocker, and you know he's trying to like reclaim something that he thinks
Yeah.
passed him away. And she says something like, "It's mean, but it's also like
Oh,
wait,
aren't you the cool guy when he gets a loft?
yeah,
Cause they're gonna split up and he's like, "Oh no, I found a loft. How aren't you the cool guy?" And it's like, it's not
mhm.
mean, but it's just an observation. Like you want to be that guy. Yeah.
Yes, like
Yeah.
like when are you gonna grow? Like because
Yeah.
he really wants a child, and he really wants to be a child, and
Yes.
so."
Like
And
you're
so
not
she's
going to be a rocker. Like he's probably like 37-ish and still thinks he's going to be Jeff Buckley or something. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, it's there's so many. I mean, obviously beyond just Juno, who is experiencing a lot going on in
Yes.
her life, but
There's a
like,
lot of people going through it. Yeah.
yeah, I think what's going on in this house with this couple is also really um conflicting and
Yeah.
tragic, and but I think the freedom that
Mhm.
Juno gains from this experience of giving birth, of pregnancy,
Mhm.
of the whole process of having to tell people like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm pregnant, and hey, I'm going to make sure that the child has a good home. Like
Yeah.
that's going to be my journey, and I'm in high school.
I know it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think what's great about it too is, like you said, there's so many different other plot lines. The characters are good. Some
hmm
of these coming of age movies, they just sort of focus, like in Home Alone, focus on the kid. We don't know the parents. Yeah, like they're
Right.
rich.
Right. Oh.
They're rich and a little absent-minded and like
Yeah.
frazzled.
Exactly.
But like something like Easy A, everyone fell in love with those parents, Stanley
Yep.
Tucci, and I'm blanking on. But yeah, so it depends on how well written the other characters are, which is something I loved in Pariah too, like the friend and we see some glimpses of other households and you want to make sure, and it's admirable as a writer, Diablo Cody and then Dee
Mhm.
Reese, like to
Mhm.
make everyone as interesting as if they were the main character because they're their own main character. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kim Waynes plays the mom in Pariah, and it's such a different role for Kim Waynes because, of course, so
Yes.
many of them are from in Living Color, and I think she's a brilliant comedic actress.
Yes.
But this is so not funny at all.
No, Keegan-Michael Peele, or he does the same thing sometimes, and you're just like, where did that come from? But I also
Yeah,
think it takes more talent to be funny, so it makes sense that they can, yeah,
yeah,
play
yeah. I
serious.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree totally.
yeah, because you can't really just pretend you're funny.
No, that takes
Oh,
a lot. And then
yeah.
also, not everybody is funny. That's just the
No, we've all been there. Yeah, on
reality.
dates and in our like work life, and the people that really think they're,
Hilarious.
yes, you're not Robin Williams. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of, it's funny because I just recently saw Dead Poet Society for the
Oh
first
my
time.
gosh. Yes. Such a
Yeah.
good one.
Yes. It's funny. I watched Good Will Hunting maybe 2 years ago, and I watched Dead Poet Society maybe a couple weeks ago for the first time. Um, Dead Power Society was really interesting to me, really surprisingly tragic. I
I
don't think I
saw it
was
as a
really
child. My mom works at the library and she brought home the tape and we had no idea. We watched and it was like, oh my God. Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just like, um, it's, it's so nerdy. It's so nerdy,
I
but it's
know.
like, it's like, it literally is exactly as described. It's like these boys recreate really, a club, like this very exclusive club where they just nerd out about like dead poets.
Yeah. Oh, Captain, my Captain. And it's Peter Weir, who's one of my favorite filmmakers. And around this time, he also did Mosquito Coast with River Phoenix. We're tying it all back together.
I know,
No,
I didn't see that
and we
one.
had in Dead Poets, you had Ethan Hawke, who was in Boyhood. But my one of my favorite stories is a buddy was doing a moderating a panel with Ethan Hawke, and he told this story backstage about it was like 1990 or the early 90s, and he was at a restaurant with Robert Sean Leonard, and some girl was like gushing and came over, and Ethan says to like this table full of that, I'm sorry guys, like, I'm just, yeah. And she ignored Ethan and like made him take a photo, and she was there for Robert Sean Leonard because of Dead Poets.
Oh my gosh, don't you just want to hug him in that? He's
Yes,
such
so
a
that's
nerd
so
in that.
funny.
And just a
Yes,
tragic nerd in
I
that.
know. Yeah, she's like didn't even know who he was.
That's so funny because like obviously Ethan Hawke
Yes,
was very recent Best Actor nominated
yes.
for an Oscar. But yeah, I love Ethan Hawke's whole career. I love that
Yeah.
you never know what he's gonna do next.
Yeah, he cares about the work. I mean, everybody's in some stuff for the money, but overall, he really does try to tell good stories and
Yeah,
do things that matter. And he's loyal to, he works with the same people a lot. I always think you can see like who is really friends and who's willing to do that kind of thing. Like, yeah,
mhm.
like, Chevy Chase could only be with a couple of actresses
Mhm.
because nobody else wanted to work with him,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved Hawk, that era too. I can't remember in the past if we talked about Reality Bites. I know we have, just us, but
I
yeah. Are
that
there
movie.
any other coming of age movies like we forgot to mention that you off the
Yeah.
top of your head?
Cooley
Oh my
High,
gosh. Yes.
Heathers.
Heathers. Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan Waters, past guest. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you've had some great people on the show.
Yeah, there is a book in progress right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it, but I will say that one friend is writing it, and I put him in touch with Dan, so I'm like all excited they're gonna
Oh,
get
that's
a
so
Heather's
cool.
book going. So
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, yeah, this was such a good era of films, I think, that shaped us.
Yeah, Cooley High said Heather's Boys in the Hood, I think is
Oh my
fantastic.
gosh. I saw that when it was new. And again, we didn't. Like my mom just wanted to make sure we were seeing everything new and getting exposed to like the world. And
Yeah,
so that one again cried my head off. Like
yes.
yes,
Tragic, so tragic. I'm like, and
yeah.
it's funny, I mean not funny, but like both Dead Poets and Boys in the Hood, obviously different circumstances of death, but the same weapon.
Yeah, I loved that joke a few years later, which I totally forgot, but I had to rewatch Swingers for an episode like 2 years
Mm,
ago. Like, haven't you seen
hmm.
Boys in the Hood? Now one of us is gonna get shot. Like, I love that.
Oh,
Because one of them was being a jerk. Yeah.
yes,
The good
yes.
guy is gonna get shot. Yeah.
And you know, we would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Varsity Blues and the late great.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to tell people what it was like when Dawson's Creek came on the scene.
I had never seen an episode of Dawson's Creek.
Wow. Okay, you're gonna
It's
have
in my
to,
queue.
like, it's overwritten and
Oh,
like they act like they're 40, like just so you know. But it was like huge. My spine
yes.
surgeon's son worked on the set as a camera operator
Oh, yeah, it's
in
really,
North Carolina. And so he's like, have you heard of this show, Dawson's? Yeah.
of course.
It's on the cover of every May. Yes, I've heard of it. I'm like 14, you know. But yeah, it was quite a big deal. A whole group of actors who broke out, and Michelle Williams, and yeah, Joshua Jackson, Katie Holmes, yeah, and of course James Vanderbeek, who always had a really good sense of humor about himself. That I
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was he played his like he was the butt of his own jokes, which is
yes,
interesting.
yeah, kind of like Neil Patrick Harris did that,
Oh
like
yeah,
in the White Castle. Yeah,
totally,
yeah.
totally. I oh wait, I was gonna say something now. Only because I mean not only because, but like I thought of this like earlier today. I was like, oh, I got to bring this up on the pod because the Outsiders is coming to Broadway, and I was just like,
Oh
oh my gosh, the
wow.
Outsiders.
I had no
There's like,
idea. That would be great. I saw it like at a birthday party in the 90s and hadn't seen it except a couple years ago. And wow. Though I'm a huge Rumblefish person. I think I prefer that one. I don't know. Which one do you prefer?
wait, Rumblefish?
Oh,
I
you
don't
would
think I've
love
seen
it.
it.
If it's Matt Dillon, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke might be the most beautiful person ever in that movie. It
He really
was
looks
early
good.
80s. I think it's Sofia Coppola's favorite of her dad's. It's
Oh.
like an art house teen movie, if you want to,
Mhm.
yeah, like it's an art house movie, but
Oh, okay.
whereas like Outsiders is more mainstream.
Mhm.
But I think you would dig it. And Sophia's actually in it as a kid.
I just see that. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, look at all the stars that are in this movie.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, Lawrence
Yes.
Fishburne. And
Oh
I
my
misspoke
gosh.
earlier. The Outsiders is currently on Broadway.
Oh
I'm thinking
wow.
of another show that is actually coming to Broadway, but The Outsiders is on Broadway, and it actually is a Tony Award winning
Oh wow.
Broadway
Okay. I didn't
musical.
know. You would have,
Yeah,
it would have been fine. Except watch, we would have had like 20 people like, you guys.
right.
Yeah. Everybody else had no idea. Yeah.
And I've actually seen it on
Yeah.
Broadway, and I'm like, oh my
Oh, you
gosh.
did? Was it good?
I think it's a unusual choice
Gotcha.
to bring to a Broadway musical.
Okay.
But also it kind of folds within a lot of other weird, neat, like movies turned Broadway musicals that don't really make a whole lot of sense in my brain, but like The Notebook became a Broadway musical. I thought that was terrible Broadway musical.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No thanks. That's so weird, right? Like any kind of existing IP. Yes.
Yeah. The Outsiders, that really connected with a lot of other audiences that are not me. But I think there's some good things about it.
Okay.
I just don't love it.
Gotcha.
Because I think this is an early 80s Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was like 84. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that still kind of falls within this outliers who kind of find each other and just surviving. And I think, because I just recently watched this or rewatched it. There's some movies that I'm like, I've seen parts of this before, but not all of it. And that was Fame for me yesterday.
Oh yeah. How dark does that get too? Like, yeah, that's another one. I think everybody was like, oh, they want to live forever. And
Dancing in the Street. No, it's not Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
When you think of Dirty Dancing in your mind, you're like, oh, that was fun. And then you watch it again and you're like, wow.
Yes.
It's fun, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, also one of the most interesting portrayals of abortion.
Yeah.
And most interesting, also just really truthful and really scary and just really captures just being a young person. And
we don't want to go back to that time. Yeah.
No, we don't. Although
I know.
I think about that. And Fame, there's so much that is still obviously really existing, especially with the ingenues, and not even just ingenues in Hollywood. The casting couch.
Yeah, and the influencers today.
The influencers, that's right.
Yeah.
It's funny, when I was watching Fame over the weekend, what I remembered most distinctly in my brain, but I just don't think I had ever seen the whole movie before, but I just remember Irene Cara on the casting couch, and I was just like, oh, I know exactly. I did not recognize any of these other scenes, but I know exactly what's about to happen now. And I'm like already bracing myself, and it's just, so awful.
It is. Yeah. It's like a deceptively, kind of like when we were given the video for like, oh, here's Dead Poets Society. It's for kids. Like, no,
right. It's like, I mean, it's about kids.
I mean, we were traumatized by My Girl. It was a thing. Yeah. We were tough puppies. Yeah.
Yes. We can get through like what I call it, the B homicide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this was so much fun, Candice. Thank you for doing this. Come back anytime. Any other topic you have, you just let me know.
Yes. I mean, I'm happy to come back and just chat about whatever.
Yes. I also want to thank everyone for listening, especially my patrons who support the show and help fund my research, equipment, film rentals, RSS fees, and more for as little as $1 per month at the Film Intuition Patreon, which is the home base for the show. Other ways you can support the podcast are by sharing, reviewing, and subscribing to Watch with Jen wherever you get your podcasts, and also checking out the cool merch store hosted and created by our talented logo designer, Kate Gabrielle. You can find the merchandise store, including shirts, tote bags, stickers, and more by visiting filmintuition.com and clicking on the shop link. The show's theme music is solo acoustic guitar by Jason Shaw and is available in the free music archive. Well, until next time, please take care and happy movie watching. This is Jen Johans at filmintuition.com and Film Intuition on social media and Letterboxd. And this is Watch with Jen.